It's okay. That was just about me anyway, so you didn't miss anything.
Not at all.
It's all good. Okay. All right, let's try again.
Welcome, Olivia from Age Plus. We are so glad to have you with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. This is quite a pleasure. Okay. Here we go. And can you guys see my screen? Let's start the
Yes.
slideshow here. All right, there we go. Okay, so Age Plus in Jackson County. I am the bilingual community outreach engagement manager for Age Plus. We are a statewide nonprofit organization that we serve and advocate for older adults statewide. So my colleague Julia Brown and myself split the state to provide service to mostly rural areas is our focus because we're focused on serving those isolated, low income or underrepresented. So my counties of service include all the way over to like Lake, Klamath, Jackson, Josephine, Coos, Curry, Douglas, and then all the way up the coast. And my colleague Julia serves kind of some central along the gorge and eastern Oregon. So we're kind of diagonal down the state. So Age Plus was founded in 2018 off of our sister organization called the Jesse F. Richardson Foundation, which was founded by Karen Brown Wilson, our founder and CEO. And that foundation is, you probably haven't heard of it because it's based in Nicaragua. And it was founded to address just like the complete destitution that she saw when she was there in as far as how older adults are cared for. So that program is basically self-running in Nicaragua, teaching caregivers and hogares how to provide the best service possible to their families and elders in need. So our founder was asked, hey, like we need these services in Oregon too. So in 2018, that's when Age Plus was formed. So we our model is asset based, which I can tell you from working with people in Jackson County. There are quite a lot of assets, and the people I think are your biggest asset. And the well integrated nature that I've witnessed in meetings and my outreach trips have been just I'm just blown away by the strength and the resilience that you guys have shown. So what we do when we start working with new communities is we don't come in without being invited, first of all. And second of all, it's important for us to have opening community conversations, which I believe we had with community leaders in Jackson County in 2019. I'm pretty new to this role. I only started in October. So that was before when I joined, but I'm happy to continue the conversations. So we identify the assets and we engage with local community-based organizations, local public health, and really try to just assess what the specific needs of each community are, because everywhere is different. Doesn't matter if you're right next to another community, it could be absolutely different, which I am discovering all the time. So our goal overall is just to increase collaboration across all sectors to ensure that our elders have equitable opportunities and are able to thrive as long as they're able and willing to. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you might know some of this already, but Oregon and the United States in general is experiencing a permanent demographic shift where our communities, especially rural, are the older people 65 and up are expected to double by 2030. So this shift is happening faster in rural areas. And I have a statistic here that's kind of shocking. Jackson County has seen 30% increase in adults 65 and up since 2015. And by 2035, that's expected to be a 64% increase. So frankly speaking, and what you guys probably already know, is that our systems, our like caregiving systems, hospital systems, volunteer networks just simply are not prepared to handle this shift. And that's what Age Plus is trying to address. Here's why I'm here, the housing initiative. When we did speak with community leaders in 2019, obviously we were hearing that, and I think this was before the fire happened, and then we were, continuing that conversation. We just heard loud and clear that accessible, affordable housing for older adults was basically one of the highest priorities to address. So the photo you see, the drawing is a drawing of we're calling it the Talent Senior Apartments, which is a name that I hate, but we might update it, but that's what it's called now for tax purposes. And this is located off of Suncrest Road in Talent, near the fire department, if you know where that is. So it's kind of an L-shaped parcel of land, and we are expected to have 22 units. And you can kind of make out this floor plan here, but there are 22 one-bedroom units, 1 bathroom, washer and dryer in all units. And these units will all meet the lifelong housing certification standards. The rental price point is at 50 to 60% average medium income a month. So we're expecting it to be about $700 a month. We also are expecting to have 1 or 2 utilities included, but can't say exactly which those are yet. Our apartments will also have 1 community room. And then I'll go through, after the presentation, I'll go through how to fill out an inquiry form and share that link so you guys can pass it around to people that might be interested. I have more information on this on my other screen, but I'm going to try to ad-lib it here. So other things that Cass, you were nice enough to share a list of questions that you foresaw people wanting to ask. So some of the things that I'm guessing that you'll want to know is that these apartments are going to be fire hardened. And all of them have been built with universal, with UDA details in mind, but we haven't had them assessed for UDA. 2 of the units are completely 100% ADA accessible, while all the other ones are ADA compliant, besides the sink in the kitchen that allows a wheelchair to go under it. And that has to do with pricing. I guess those sinks are incredibly expensive. So some of the other ADA requirements that all of the units meet are wide hallways and doorways for wheelchair accessibility, no steps on the premises. The shower is able to have a wheelchair enter. The microwave is below the counter, so you don't have to reach up higher. yeah, stuff. So it besides the sink, that's actually information I had to look up because I've become an overnight housing expert. So yes, so those are all the details on the housing that I can think of. Oh, no, it's not. You probably want to know when. So this project is due to break ground this month or next month. And we are using a modular, duplicated, replicable and scalable model so that other housing developers can see what we're doing and adopt it and adapt it for their own projects. This is not something we want Age Plus stamped. We want people to see that you're not going to lose money by taking on a project like this, by building a ADA accessible apartments. So the way we're doing that is that most of the apartment is going to be constructed off-site in a warehouse, and like a modular approach, and then shipped and constructed on site. So our main resource here is actually not money, it's time. We heard from you, from your community, that that we need to be quick with this. So we're trying to be respectful in those efforts. So it doesn't save a bunch of money, but it does save a bunch of time. So we're due to break ground in the next few weeks to a month, and we hope to be done with this project by the end of the summer. So August, I'm thinking. We've hired a local property management to deal with rental, rental details, collection of rent and whatnot. So that's already all squared away. So by the end of next year, we hope to be able to come visit and visit with all the new tenants that we have in the housing development. So this is huge for Age Plus. We're honored to be doing this. And I'll also just mention that we have a similar project like this happening in Madras as well, that's just a little bit behind this schedule. So these are our first two housing developments, and we're just thrilled on how they're rolling out. So happy to share about that. Another thing that I wanted to go over is supporting services for not just the people that will be living in the talent senior apartments, but for Jackson County as a whole. So Circles of Care is Age Plus's community-based volunteer network. And this program is currently successfully running in Hood River in the Dalles, where we have 2 community liaisons working to implement it. And this program, I like to think of it as kind of like a matchmaking service where our community liaisons identify older adults in the area that need help with everyday tasks. Like there's a lot of like drives, like rides to the grocery store or medical appointments, clearing your driveway after it snows, help raking leaves, stuff like that. And a whole lot of friendly check-ins to help with isolation problems. Those can either happen on the phone or in person. And what we love about this model is that we found that a lot of times the person that initially asked for help ends up becoming a volunteer themselves because they feel empowered and connected to continue engaging with their own community. So let's say someone initially was asking for rides to doctor's appointments. They learn about our program, they create a relationship with their trained volunteer, and then they say, well, I have a phone, I can help do friendly check-ins for someone else that needs help. So that's the circular model that we're really trying to I don't know what word I'm looking for, but that's kind of the joy of it, is that it comes back around. So so we've done interview processes for a community liaison in talent, and we have a top contender. We just haven't pressed go yet. So that person is bilingual and well integrated in the community and is going to be working with complementing pre-existing volunteer networks. Like I know Cassie Rose and I have talked about her volunteer program and sharing volunteer base and kind of working with it together. So that's another thing that we really don't want to duplicate, and we don't want to compete with existing programs. So it's really important that and honestly amazing how well we've been received, and it's just a joy to know that we're being welcomed with open arms there. So I will move on. I want to bring this up, and I'll drop a link in the chat also. But we host an annual Ageless Award for to honor and celebrate individuals 75 and older who continue to contribute to their communities. And this year we're completely honored to welcome Don Bruland, who I'm sure you guys recognize that name, Ed Edmo, Daniel Steffi, and Maria Rojo de Steffi, and Robert Stoll. The others that I mentioned are mostly from the metropolitan area, but we're just so excited to host Don. There's the virtual viewing is free. So I was one of my tasks this week is to see if I can find a venue or maybe a senior center that would like to do a group showing so that people can watch together. Obviously you're welcome to join in person. I know that's kind of a trek, but you're welcome to do so, and I can share the link for that information too. And yes, that concludes my slideshow. But I'm happy to take questions and comments and all of the things. I'm just really grateful to be included in this group, and I'm humbled to hear your stories and contribute to rebuilding your community. Go ahead, Jose.
Okay, so I noticed it said that without rental subsidies, so no one that is receiving rental assistance through Access or any other organization out here would qualify?
Hold on, sorry, let me go back in here. AMI, so I think that just means that they have to be within 50 to 60% AMI without a reliance on rental subsidies, if that makes sense. So I don't think that means that they can't be receiving the subsidies. It's just that they still have to meet those requirements.
Yeah, I think I understand what that means.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to discourage people from receiving rental help and Access. I've been working with Access for a few months. They know of this program, and we're not trying to take away from people's rental assistance whatsoever.
Awesome, because my follow-up was going to be, would you be open to working with Access on this?
Absolutely. Yes, we did. Our company president, Stephanie Hooper, and I came down to Medford, Talent, Ashland in December, and were able to meet with city council people, Access, La Clinica, Medford Police Department. We tried to get a good range of cross-sector organizations to meet with, to just get the most well-rounded feel for the community, and just make our presence known as far as like we're open and accessible to be here for collaboration.
I have another question. What would be like the youngest volunteers you would accept for that other program you were talking about?
That's great. I would say probably 18, just because we have a background check, obviously, that all volunteers go through, as well as like training. So I don't that would be a great question for me to ask our community liaisons. But yeah, that it would be cool. It would be really cool to have younger than that, but I don't know if that would be um, if we'd be liable there. So I would say a safe answer for now is 18, but I can follow up on that too.
Um, sorry, I have one more question because I remember from hearing about this before. You guys have like a grandparent program type thing where the elderly can volunteer as grandparents to youth.
That's actually Cassie Rose's
Oh, yeah, I was
program.
confusing it. I
So
was
that's
confusing it.
foster, I think it's foster adopt a grandparent or fostering grandparents.
Foster grandparent program.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, so yeah, I loved hearing about her program
Yeah.
on that. That's something we don't do. But I'm here for the success stories on that.
Yeah, that was my confusion. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah,
Mary.
Mary.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear about this, Olivia, because I need to go live there.
Okay, great.
That's
I'll
where I
drop
need.
here.
That's where I need to live. I'm living in a fifth wheel in Ashland, and I need to go
Perfect.
live in that place. So
Okay, I'll open up the I'll get the link for you here. We
You
would
were the
love
first
to have
person I
you.
put on the spreadsheet, Mary.
what's that?
You were the
That-
first person I added to my spreadsheet of people to consider
Awesome,
for this.
because that I need that. So and Jose already asked the question sort of roundaboutly, but I'm going to ask it more directly because I'm still in the process of getting some subsidy from Access because I get so little Social Security and SSI, and that's all I've got right now. So it's being able to have some subsidy in addition to whatever the qualification is probably in the picture for me. So and I'm not the only one. So that's
Sure, yeah.
there's lots of us, and I'm an artist, and I did not get any compensation for my studio or my tools or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm in a really tough situation. I'm starting to teach again. I'm going to teach at Ollie, which is a volunteer thing starting in May. But and you might have heard when we were first talking, I have a project that I want to talk about, and actually I want to talk to you about it.
I was gonna say let's put that art up in our community room.
Yes, well, and it needs to be yeah, well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
So one of the questions that I have also is about the open space. So what kind of open space are you talking about?
So I don't right now, I don't know the exact dimensions, but our vision is that it's very much a community room that can be adapted for a lot of different uses. So you know, for stuff as everyday as you're having your family over, but you don't want to bulk everyone up in your apartment, so you can go to the community room and have lunch.
Right.
We're hoping to have like stuff like game nights, movie nights, family reunions. I talked with Access about them coming to like do just kind of like a mini resource fair where they share what services they offer or you know, classes on you know, vaccines or vaccine. We could do anything there. So I don't know the size of it, but that is our goal as far as like we want it to be. And that'll be also the role of our community liaison is using that space as a resource for anyone that wants to. Like I know I was talking with Lori Stanton of the Alzheimer's Association, and she said they'd be glad to come and do information on dementia and Alzheimer's, stuff like that. Just if we can think of it, then we can make it happen, kind of thing. So yeah, I hope that answers your question a little bit.
It answers part of it. The other part is that's indoor space. So I'm an outdoor girl. still. And the hardest part about losing my house was losing my garden.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering, is there going to be a community garden?
I don't think so, but I think that, and I'm trying to sorry, I'm doing a few things at once here. I'm going to open this in a new tab. I think that each unit in the back has like a concrete area, and it does back up to another housing development that's been there that wasn't affected by the fire. But I feel like there would be at least room for some planters, like some, room for a chair to be outside. I'm also an outdoor girl, and that would be that we tried to keep that in mind as far as like there's kind of like some grassy areas.
Yes.
But I love that idea.
Okay. Well, it matters to me. But one of the best things
Yes.
about being in my
Yes.
family is that I have like turkeys in my backyard here, and they're mating, and I've got a bunch of deer that live behind me, and engaging with nature is it's essential for my healing at this point. So
I totally understand.
Okay.
And I can tell you that here, let me try to see if, okay, I'll put this back. Let me see if I can, I'll just share my screen again. So you can kind of see like there's an empty lot between the housing development and the fire station, but behind it is like this beautiful land that has like a beautiful view of the hills. And I don't know, I don't think there'll be the Suncrest Road is right there, but I think there's still plenty of greenery, and it is a lovely neighborhood to walk around. So
Right.
that kind of,
Now
I know
that-
it's not a photo, but
And
No,
and it's
I know
very
what you
close,
tell. I know, I'm familiar with that place right there. I know where that is. So
really close to the bike path.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's great too. Okay. So that's wonderful. And then the other question that I had is, that's going to be the first one. And are you like hustling developers to make more of these? Is that how this works?
no, we don't want to hustle developers. We want them to be our friends.
Yeah.
But we do want to model for developers and encourage them in that way. Because and the Housing Authority of Jackson County are definitely people that we met with. And so they know, they're well aware of what we're doing and what's happening. So hopefully what comes of this, I mean, it might be a little bit slower than we want it to, but we're hoping that it'll just be like undeniable that, the need is there. We're expecting them to fill up really quickly. So hopefully that's just kind of, a demonstration, really.
Right. Okay, great. No plans to make one in Ashland anytime soon? Not yet.
Well, we are, that is part of my job is working with communities to choose where the next communities are that might need this. We're looking to take on 2 more projects this year. They wouldn't break ground this year, but that is part of my job to identify where our next goals are. But I can tell you it probably would not be Ashland.
Well,
Unfortunately, I do love
the reason I
Ashland.
ask is that the property where I happen to be parked right now is in a residential neighborhood in Ashland that has a very strange RV park and these little cottages that are there. And it's been here for quite a while. And the property owner is thinking that it's a good idea to sell this property, and all the people in the neighborhood already love that it's affordable housing. So we should talk about that at some point.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
love
we are.
in touch with those people. So
Yeah, and we do have we have someone on our team that has been a contractor and involved with land stuff for decades, and he's kind of our expert there. So that's something I could pass along to bark up that tree, if you will.
wonderful. Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna fill out this form.
Perfect.
I'm
Please
really
do.
glad to hear what you had to say tonight.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I got a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned the income level, I think you said 50 to 60%.
Yes.
Is that based on Jackson County levels or Oregon levels? I believe county,
That
right?
I think county, I would assume that. I don't think we would do that, would be pretty unfair, I think. Yeah. But I can double check with leadership and get back to you on that.
Actually, I think it would probably end up being more fair, but
Or-
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way that goes.
Unfair to someone.
Right.
I'll double check because that's something I should know too.
Okay, I'm gonna
That's
pop
really why
the link to Jackson County income level. Yeah, AMI.
Okay. Walter, you said something, I didn't catch it.
Jackson County has a fairly high median income compared to the rest of the state.
Oh, okay, then I guess
Yeah.
I guess that's good.
Also, I remembered something that and I found it and posted it for Mary somewhere in there. A link.
Plus,
Oh, I see your link, Surf
Yeah.
Plus.
Yep. I don't know if you can see that, Mary, or not, but
I didn't see it. What is that?
it's a program for grants for artists,
Oh,
their
cool.
studios.
Oh, really?
So,
Cool.
Very cool. Thank you for posting that.
yep. I remembered something vaguely about that and forgot to post it a while back. And you're talking about that reminded me to go look it up again. So,
Well, thank you.
Awesome. You have your hand up, Michael?
Yes, it caught my interest when you talked about putting a community room. Is this okay with the building department?
Because they're not charging for its use.
Is that the trick?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's
Yeah,
this
we want
other
it free and
construction
accessible.
issue going on in Medford where that's a huge block.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if you found it a way, congratulations for finding a way around.
That absolutely, that's interesting to hear. So they, if you charge money to use a space, then is it like tax related or?
It's part
It's
of
a
Medford.
fair payment, it's bully.
Yeah, Boley.
So like you'd have to pay the people
Market
working on
rate.
it a lot higher than regular.
Making it unaffordable for low income housing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
push
the
up
opposite of our
prices.
goal.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the bully part, but also my zone is seniors, so I was very interested in this in the project because there really is not much of there's some safety net, but not much, and so my concern with a number of them is that surviving the continued inflation is going to be pressing on their limited income budgets very, very strongly. And heard a fellow yesterday morning talk about the increase in senior homelessness in the Rogue Valley. And so, yes, as quick as you can, please do this.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's why, I mean, this needed to happen yesterday, right? Like this,
Right.
this is what we, and it's hard it's funny because a lot of us live in Portland, and our office is based in Clackamas, but we're really not focused on anything on the I-5 corridor as far, like I do very little service work in Multnomah County because there is access to less gaps in access to services. Not to say that there's not a senior houseless problem in Portland, because obviously there is, but we we're experiencing it in the metropolitan area at a slower rate because the rural areas have been, you know, seeing this trend spiking for years. So yeah, I hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Katie.
Katie.
Hi, I was just kind of poking through the inquiry page, and I see that your inquiry page is really simple to fill out, which is awesome. I really love that. I feel like sharing this page to folks will be nice and simple, and so thank you for that. My question is actually about the actual application process. Is it a pretty lengthy process, and in what ways can we help people kind of prepare for that application?
Those are great questions. And I know that we're in compliance with all of the like fair housing application standards, and with also giving preference or giving what's my word? Not preference to, but like first access, I
Priority.
think, to fire survivors. But that would I don't know how long of a process it will be. That's a question I can contact our property manager about as we're closer to renting, since that's still you know, a few 6 months out or so. I don't know the answer to that yet, but that's something I'd be happy to stay connected in this group with you guys, and then coming back later when I have that knowledge and giving an update about it. I'd be happy to do that.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that. You know, as the town captain their job, we really like to help guide folks through some of the application processes, especially if they're more intensive. And so if you have the opportunity to share that, maybe train us a little bit, we'd be happy to help facilitate it.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's very much, I mean, being an advocate for older adults, we want things to be the least daunting as possible. So we'll keep that in mind when designing the process.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Jose?
So I'm going to piggyback off of Katie here. And after the application is filled out, who decides the residents? Like, how are they getting selected? Is it through Access? Is it through you guys? Is it more broad than that?
I'm sure it'll be a collaboration between Age Plus and our property manager, which I think is Quality Property Management is the business that we're going through. They've been in the industry for a long time. So and you know, we also met with them when we came down to visit to see the site together and kind of just like go over some details. So the reason we went with QPM is because we felt very like heard and seen by them as far as like our mission to support older adult fire survivors. So they're very aligned with our philosophy, and I know that it'll be like, you know, the fairest and painless as we can possibly make it. I just don't know exactly what that looks like right now.
Okay.
Cool.
Any other questions for Olivia?
I'm wondering about environmental impact. Is there a land use impact statement at all?
There is, but I do not know where to find it. I know we were asked to do, you know, tests on the land and soil quality and stuff like that, and we were able to pass that. That's something I'd have to follow up about, though. I don't have that at my fingertips, but I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm glad to hear that this project is going through. I saw that, and I was wondering what was going on.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just wondering about urban heat island effect, basically, is what I'm thinking about.
All right. Yeah, I can tell you that, you know, we're keeping as much, you know, trees in the area, as far as planting in the, you know, there's a few kind of like community areas. The land parcel is pretty small, but it will have enough parking spaces for each resident. But that's still, you know, 22 spots. Yeah, so it does back up on a housing development already there, but yeah, that's something I can follow up on and either forward cast or something to distribute that. But yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate your concern. That's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
There was something I wanted to point out about that. I was reading about another housing project, the Mosaic over in East Medford. And they were mentioning how much lower the carbon footprint is when you use modular housing.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to point that out. I thought that would be something Joseph would like hearing about because
Yes,
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
that's a great point.
mhm. Chirp. Chirp.
Yeah, I thought maybe like a living roof would be a good idea. And you could garden on the roof.
There you go, Mary.
Yep, haul your hip up to the roof, Mary.
That's right. We have to put some nice wide steps to go up to the roof. I don't mind.
That would be so cool.
Nice wide steps and a railing around the side so we don't fall off. Because we're seniors after all.
What is bully?
Holy, let me look up what it stands for. It's basically a union, a building union that regulates wages
Yeah,
for
I was
market rate.
thinking that too.
Bureau of Labor and Industry.
There you go. That's what it is.
How often do you guys meet?
Every
Every
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, okay, great. Wonderful.
Yeah, Olivia, if you ever have the desire to make an appearance and share any more information or resources or want to do a follow-up presentation, please feel free to reach out to me. We can schedule back out, or if you have any recommendations for speakers that you think would benefit our group here after having experienced it, again, reach out to me. I would love to schedule some folks to speak.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know that once we do make our community liaison hire official, I would love to kind of like bring that person into the space and have them meet all of you guys and just kind of like pass the torch so that, you know, they get as much as well integrated as possible. And hearing, you know, yeah, that's exactly what they'll be doing is you know, our community liaisons are our basic direct service. So that's definitely something that we would love for them to be involved in.
Super.
I'll come
Awesome.
back though too.
Definitely come back too, but that's great. We would love to have that happen.
You're also welcome to join, even if you're not going to be presenting.
No worries.
I
Yeah,
was
thank
gonna
you.
say that
Yeah, I
too.
know. I want to
Yeah.
keep up with you guys for sure.
Mhm.
Pretty impressive what you guys have going on.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I mentioned I started in October and I've just been like completely blown away with the capacity of work that my team is able to do. It's really humbling and it's an honor to be a part of it. And it'll be really amazing to see the work we can accomplish this year.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about it.
Yeah, of course. It's my pleasure.
Any last thoughts or questions?
What does rent cost on a place like that?
We're expecting it to be around $700 with possible 1 or 2 utilities included in rent.
Oh, that's pretty good. And what is the age range?
Anyone over 55 and older.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
I
Yeah,
have
Jose,
one last question.
go ahead.
So this is for single elderly adults? Okay.
Good
and
question. Go
and
ahead,
if
sorry.
okay, and if it is, do you guys ever plan on opening one that would accommodate for couples?
This does allow for couples. And I do, as far as equity is concerned, I don't think we're concerned with marriage per se, as far as like what is a couple. 2 people that are, you know, in a relationship, that's totally fine. It's not really set out, it's not really laid out to support more than that. As far as like multi-generational, grandparents raising grandkids, something like that. But yes, couples are welcome.
That's awesome, because I know that most of these programs usually end up separating couples into different units and things like
We would
that.
never want to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I'm glad you brought that up.
Olivia, how do we reach you? Is the info at Age Plus, is that your email?
No, I'll drop it in the chat.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm going on again about the land use impact statement. I've just noticed the orchards, the groves kind of thinning out. They're, you know, kind of I don't know what's going on. And that whole block across kitty corner there looks like it's set for one thing or another. And so yeah, it's not just the one modular unit, but the kind of the area for a urban heat island effect, and downwind communities like Texas. and around the world, really. I mean, the Ashland Forest Resiliency Plan, when that was going on, that's when it all started. All the fires around the world, California, locally. So yeah, it's land use impact statement. If that's a thing, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to check with leadership about that, but yeah, I'd be happy to also forward that information along if I once I find out about it. I know we crossed our T's and dotted our I's as best we could as far as choosing that parcel. So yeah, thanks for your concern.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, should we call it a night?
Well, let me stop
Yeah,
recording before we just call it a night.
Well, Linnell has a question.
Linnell,
Oh, yeah.
Linnell, go ahead.
Yeah, I do have a question. You say that rent would be around 700. That's pretty high for some of us. Is it going to raise annually with the inflation rate, or is it going to be locked in at our AMI?
my question. I don't want to make a guess, but I don't have that information on the top of my head. But I'll include that with questions that I would love to check with our property manager. Because of who we are, I really want to say that we would lock it in, because we're not trying to make a bunch of money off of this. It's our goal is to, you know, we understand the hardships of rent increases, and especially, and this is the last group of people that we would want to continue hiking that up for. So I'll double check, but I think it would be safe to say that that it would be locked in.
That would be good. That
Yeah.
would make a big difference in whether or not somebody could apply for all places.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't know
Okay.
if you guys, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we
You
can.
You guys muted my video.
I wasn't sure you wanted to be recording while you were recorded while you were eating dinner, so I
I
Can't
thought
turn it off.
that's why you did it.
So I missed what Sherry's eating.
Is it spaghetti?
That was Stouffer's frozen lasagna baked in the oven.
And it looked Italian.
Hey, my question is, where is this project? Is it on the same side right there next to the fire station, or is it across the street from it?
It's on the same side as the fire station, but we're not like backed up against it. There's quite, I don't know, there's definitely a lot of land in between the fire station, and it's not like you're gonna go outside and like, hi firefighter, like they're not like right they're not like right there.
But if there's a problem, they can be there
Yeah,
really
they are
quick.
right there.
I don't
First
know.
to
I thought I
access
priced
that.
it up.
And then that is a good point. Yeah, so it is really close to that intersection. And we are in the process of also talking to city council about getting a bus stop on that side of the street that's going the other way. I can't remember which one is which, but right now there's just a bus stop across the street, which is kind of like a little bit dangerous to cross. For some people it would be, at least. So we're trying to get another bus stop planted on that same side of the street at that intersection, just to make the bus system more accessible. Yeah, there's definitely a good amount of land between the fire station and but the people will become really good neighbors with the people living behind the units. Those are going to be pretty close in proximity, with probably about 10-foot gap.
That was a dome or a half moon storage unit for the orchards, and it caught fire several years ago, and the fire department wasn't able to do anything about it.
They weren't located there then, though.
No, they were there.
Oh, okay. Then it wasn't very long ago, huh?
Yeah, it was for 10 years.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Joseph, you're right. Yeah, and that's where this property will be, is where that fire was.
Oh, okay. I thought it was across the street at
I think the
hotel.
fire was at by that gas station, or it used to be a gas station or something. I don't remember. I don't think the fire occurred on the land that we're building on.
Yeah, it was like one or two properties.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where, but yeah, that was weird that the fire department, they couldn't get their thing together. You know, they've got 7 minutes to get there, and it just went up. I drove past it, and yeah, it was pretty exciting. Kind of scary.
Well, it's like in Phoenix, we lost our the fire department's office burned down, but not the equipment.
In the bunkhouse, right?
Yeah.
It's being rebuilt. That's why the street's blocked off.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, they're rebuilding the whole city hall, police station,
Mhm.
fire department, everything complex. So
Probably a good thing.
they were working on doing that before the fire, and the fire, an impetus of getting them extra money for it. So
Michael, I'm saving the chat.
Save the chat.
It's our chant. Save the chat.
The chat needs
We
saving.
one day we'll walk down the streets.
Save
Placards.
And you will lead us in the brand new shirt I'm making.
Yes.
the giant placards that say "Save the chat."
Thank you again, Olivia, for being here.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys so much for having me. And I'll be in touch, and I don't know about when I'll join next, but I hope it's soon and with our new community liaison.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Thank you guys so much. So good to meet you all.
Thank you
All
too.
right.